What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you all so much for the support at this point. I very much do appreciate it. Uh, this week we've got MLB All-Star Week events to recap. We've got MLB Weekly recap from Friday to last night's games. I will not be covering today's games, though I will go over scores and games that haven't started yet. Though all the games will have started at this point. And we've got some NFL news to go over. Let's dive into it. Welcome to this week's episode. This is coming out 2 days later because yesterday was my last day of summer session 1. So I wanted to wrap that up before recording this week's episode of the podcast. So I might be going back to Tuesday episode recordings now. And also, today was a Jewish fast day. I wasn't able to eat or drink until just recently, so I wanted to do it after the fast where I had water in my system to be able to fully do the episode properly without hopefully not much butchering over words. But I am going to be talking about all the All-Star events, main events between the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game, and got some stuff from the days of games since the All-Star Game, and we've got a few NFL news to go over. Also, I think I had mentioned last week, but if you missed it, I'm going to be going to Toronto Blue Jays for the first time at the end of August for Blue Jays Angels series finale on August 25th. I kind of wish that the Blue Jays would be in better setup, but they're now having a good season, so probably not going to be getting the Rays team per se, but I'm still excited to finally go there for the first time. I also just confirmed I am going to be going to, more than likely, Reds Cubs a week from tomorrow in Cincinnati. So that should be interesting, going back there for the second time in 2 years. Had a fun time last year, and this time I'll be going as a road fan. But this time I'll also be hoping to check out their Hall of Fame museum, which I did not get to check out last time. And that's pretty much everything setting up into this week's episode. So let's just go over a few notes. Quinn Meinerz, guard for the Denver Broncos, signed an extension with them, 4 years, $80 million. Shaq Barrett, who had just recently signed with the Dolphins this year, decided to retire instead. Michael Gallup retired also after signing a deal with Vegas, actually. And then not Greenlaw. Who's the Vikings guy that got extended? Someone from the Vikings got extended. Who is this? Kennard, maybe? Darsaw, I think. Christian Darsaw re-signed with the Minnesota Vikings. A big move for them to keep him in Minnesota. So for the All-Star Week festivities, we had the Home Run Derby on Monday night, which was with all the new rules, where it's basically 4 minutes or 40 swings in the first round where everyone's against each other. And then the top 4 home run totals advance to a bracket style, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. Those winners advance to the finals, all via the same setup, and then finals winner of that wins it all. So, participants, in case you missed it: Alec Boehm, Jose Ramirez, Bobby Witt Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, El Bombi, Adolis Garcia, Marcell Ozuna, Pete Alonso, and Gunnar Henderson. Results from this first round: Alec Boehm ended up in first place. He hit first and hit for most home runs out of anyone with 21. Well, actually tied for it, as J-Ram, who hit 6th in the first round, hit 21 as well. However, Boehm got the 1 seed, and J-Ram got the 2 seed. Bobby Witt Jr. went second and hit 20 home runs. He got the 3 seed. Teoscar Hernandez got the 4 seed and hit 4th, hitting 19 home runs. Adolis Garcia went 3rd, hitting 18. Marcell Ozuna went 7th, hitting 16. Pete Alonso hit 5th, hitting 12. And Gunnar Henderson hit last, hitting only 11. So El Bombi, Marcell Ozuna, Pete Alonso, and Gunnar Henderson were all out after the first round. So the second round matchups were between Alec Boehm versus Teoscar Hernandez, and Jose Ramirez against Bobby Witt Jr. So in division rival matchup in the Home Run Derby. As for Alec Boehm, Teoscar Hernandez beat Alec Boehm 16-15. And as for J-Ram versus Bobby Witt Jr., Witt Jr. won 17-12, sending up Teo versus Bobby Witt Jr. And in a swing off where Bobby Witt Jr. hit a fly ball in the left center field that barely just missed a home run. Teoscar Hernandez won the home run derby 14-13 in a swing off. He's the first Dodger player to ever win the home run derby. He's the seventh born player to win the home run derby, joining 2022 Juan Soto, 2011 Robbie Cano, 2010 David Ortiz, 2007 Vlad Sr., 2004 Miguel Tejada, 2000 and 2000 Sammy Sosa. And keep in mind, Vlad Jr. was not born in the Dominican Republic; he was born in Canada. But we've had 3 straight years of DR affiliated or descendant or that kind of thing. Players win the home run derby in 3 consecutive years between Teo, Vlad Jr., and Juan Soto. And as for the All-Star game, the AL beat the NL 5-3 to get back on their own winning streak after losing last year. Shohei Ohtani's 3-run homer in the first inning makes him the second Japanese-born player to homer in the All-Star game, joining Ichiro Suzuki who had an inside-the-park home run in 2007, which is also only such home run in All-Star game history. He's also the 10th Dodgers player and 12th time Dodger player hits a homer in All-Star game, joining 95-96 Piazza, 1975 and 1977 Steve Garvey, 1975 Jimmy Wynn, 1973 Willie Davis, 19 something John Roseboro, 1959 Jimmy Gillian, 1952 Jackie Robinson, 1951 Gil Hodges, and 1942 Mickey Owen. The third inning of this game, where Ale had a Soto 2-run single and David Fry tying RBI single, which also includes Shohei Ohtani's 3-run homer. Was the first All-Star game inning in which both teams scored 3+ runs since 8th inning in 1992. Which also what's funny about this inning is it involved Marcus Semien, who's on the Texas Rangers, playing in his home stadium, making an error that ended up leading to Shohei Ohtani's home run. It didn't make a difference in the end so much because the AL won. Ohtani is also first player with a pitcher win and a homer in his All-Star career. Jarren Duran, go-ahead 2-run homer in the 5th, makes him third Red Sox player to homer in an All-Star game debut, joining 2008 J.D. Drew and 2004 Big Papi. All 3 starting Phillies had at least 1 hit: Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, and Bryce Harper, which is the first time 3 infield teammates all started in an All-Star game and recorded a hit since 2004, when both the New York Yankees between Giambi, A-Rod, and Jeter, and the St. Louis Cardinals between Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, and Edgar Renteria had 3 infielders to do so. Manuel Clase got the save in this game, becoming the 4th pitcher with multiple All-Star game saves since 1969, as he got the save in 2022, joining Mariano Rivera 4 times, Dennis Eckersley 3 times, and Bruce Sutter. Bruce Bochy is the second manager to win an All-Star game in both leagues, joining Tony La Russa. Jarren Duran is 5th Red Sox player to win All-Star game MVP, joining 2008 J.D. Drew, 1999 Pedro Martinez, 1986 Rocket Roger Clemens, and 1970 Carl Yastrzemski. Mason Miller is the 3rd rookie pitcher to get the win in an All-Star game, joining Spec Shea for the AL in 1947, and Dean Stone also for the AL in 1954. All-Star game lasted 2 hours and 28 minutes, which is the shortest All-Star game since 2 hours 26 minutes in 1988. That is it from All-Star events. Now for notes from 19th up until the 22nd, not including 22nd, not including tonight's games, being the 23rd. Yankees beat the Rays 6-1. Juan Soto had a Little League home run this game. He also got on base 5 times this game, which is the 82nd time he has done so in his career, making him tied for second most games reaching base safely 4+ times before 26 years old, since 1901, tied with Jimmy Fox and behind Mickey Mantle's 93. Orioles beat the Rangers 9-1 in the first game in our ALCS rematch of last year's ALDS rematch. Anthony Santander's 2-homer game is his 15th career multi-homer game, which is 6th most multi-homer games in Orioles/St. Louis Browns history. Behind Cal Ripken Jr., 21, Boog Powell and Eddie Murray, 20, Manny Machado and Chris Davis, 19, Brady Anderson, 17, and Frank Robinson, 16. The Rockies beat the Giants 7-3. Sorry about that. Kyle Harrison is first visitor with multiple scoreless starts of 5+ innings in the season at Coors Field, and he is the 333rd individual season with 2+ starts there as a visitor. 30th individual. No, yeah. A's beat the Angels 13-3. Oakland is the first team to score 13+ runs in their last game before All-Star break, and 13+ runs in their first game after the All-Star break. Prior most was 12+ in each by the 1990 Milwaukee Brewers, who did not make the playoffs or win the World Series let alone win the World Series that year. Jacob Wilson, who singled and got hurt in his debut, is 9th fastest player in Oakland A's history to reach MLB after being drafted behind Mike Morgan from June 6th to 11th, 1978. Tim Conroy, 17, from June 6th to 23rd, 1978. Ariel Prieto, 31, from June 1st to 7th till July 2nd, 1995. Rich Bordy, 43, from June 3rd to July 16th, 1980. Scott Meyer, 96, from June 6th to September 10th, 1978. Houston Street, 303, from June 7th, 2004 to April 6th, 2005. Kirk Dressendorfer, 313, from June 4th, 1990 till April 13th, 1991. And Mr. October, Reggie Jackson's 367, from June 7th, 1996 till June 9th, 1967. And Astros beat the Mariners 3-0. Astros lead the AL West. At the time, it's changed now. Now it's even, I think, or maybe someone got I forget. Or why should I say forget? I could just look. At the moment, they're about tied. I'll dive into specific later. But after this win, they led the AL West by percentage points, which of course changed the next day. They trailed by 10 games entering June 19th. Their 24 games are tied for third fewest by a team to erase a division deficit of 10+ games since the division era began, behind only 1982 Dodgers of 13 games and 1993 Red Sox of 20 games. Also, the second team in MLB history to go from being 5+ games under 500 and 10+ games back to first place in less than 25 games, along with 1914 Boston Braves, who are now the Atlanta Braves, of course. That's it for July 19th. For July 20th, Brewers beat the Twins 8-7. Byron Buxton and Eric Haas both had 2-homer games. Buxton for the Twins, Haas for the Brewers. Nationals beat the Reds 5-2. First national sweep of the Reds since August 12th to 14th of 2019. Blue Jays beat the Tigers 5-4. George Springer's 2-homer game is his 21st out of the leadoff spot, which is the second most career multi-homer games out of leadoff spot behind Mookie Betts' 26. Royals beat the White Sox 4-1. Seth Lugo's complete game is the first Royals complete game with no more than 1 run allowed since Brad Keller's complete game shutout versus the Pirates on September 13th of 2020. Rangers beat the Orioles 3-2. I think I didn't actually have anything from Saturday, so this was. Oh no, sorry. No, sorry. I'm sorry. Andrew Heaney is first Rangers starting pitcher to allow 3 or less earned runs in 14 starts since Kyle Gibson from May 7th to July 22nd, 2021, and is just 4th left-handed pitcher in Rangers history to do so. Giants beat the Rockies 3-2. Hayden Burnsong's 27 swings and misses are most by a pitcher at 22 years or younger since 2008, including playoffs, and is tied for third most in a game in San Francisco Giants history since 2008, including postseason, tied with July 9th, 2022, Carlos Rodon. Sorry. And behind 2010 LDS Game 1, Tim Lincecum's 31, and July 13th, 2013, Tim Lincecum. Also, his 12 strikeouts is tied for second most in a game within first 5 career outings in New York/San Francisco Giants history since 1901, tied with July 19th, 1960, Juan Marichal, and behind April 25th, 1937, Cliff Melton. Most Ks by San Francisco Giants rookie since Tim Lincecum was 12 strikeouts versus Diamondbacks on July 1st, 2007. Sorry. Mariners beat the Astros 6-4. Yordan Alvarez hit for the cycle, which is 18th cycle in Astros history and first since Jose Altuve on August 28th, 2023 at Boston. Is also second cycle at T-Mobile Park and first since Miguel Tejada on September 29th, 2001. Dodgers beat the Red Sox 9-6. Jarren Duran, 98 games played before to 10 plus triples, doubles, and stolen bases, 10 plus for each of those stats in a season since 1920, which is second fewest games to do so, behind 1925 Max Carey, 88, and ahead of 1996 Chuck Knobloch and 1925 Kike Coilers, 99. David Hamilton's 25 stolen bases is most stolen bases in versus 70 games played in a season in Boston history since behind 2008, 2009, and 2013, Jacoby Ellsbury's 34, 31, and 31. 1994, Otis Nixon's 31. 1913, Tris Speaker's 26. And 1911, Harry Hooper's 26. And then as for yesterday, July 22nd, Yankees beat the Rays 9-1. Juan Soto, 2-homer game, is his 21st career multi-homer game, tied with Eddie Matthews for second most before turning 26. Behind Mel Ott's 24, he's also third player in MLB history to record 25 plus homers and 80 plus walks in first 100 games with a team, joining 1997-98 Mark McGwire's with the Cardinals and 1920 Babe Ruth with the Yankees. Rangers beat the White Sox 4-3 in 10 innings. Wyatt Langford walk-off RBI single, first Texas rookie to do so since Mark Mathias walk-off homer on September 13th, 2022. Royals beat the Diamondbacks 10-4. Bobby Witt Jr. 4 games with a hit since Straight is tied for second most consecutive games with 3 plus hits in Kansas City Royals history, tied with 2000 Johnny Damon and behind 1976 George Brett 6. He is also first player to record 3 plus hits in each of his first 4 games following the All-Star break. His 12 hits are tied for most in a player's first 4 games following All-Star break, tied with 1994 Dante Bichette, 1970 Lou Brock, 1956 Al Dark, 1950 Ted Kluszewski, and 1938 Wally Berger. A's beat the Astros 4-0. Hogan Harris and Spencer Arguetti are first former Louisiana Raging Cajuns to face off as opposing starting pitchers in the MLB, and first time two Louisiana Raging Cajun pitchers pitched in the same game since B.J. Ryan of the Blue Jays and Scott Doman of Kansas City Royals on August 25th, 2006. And the Dodgers beat the Giants 3-2. Tyler Fitzgerald's 4-game homer streak is tied for longest by New York/San Francisco Giants rookie since 1900, tied with 1977 Jack Clark. That is it for this week's notes for the episode of the podcast. As for standings for this going in up until tonight's games. In the AL East, the Orioles in first place, 60-39, followed by the 60-42 Yankees, followed by the 53-46 Red Sox, followed by the 50-50 Blue Rays, followed by the 45-54 Blue Jays. In the AL Central, the Guardians in first place at 59-40, followed by the 55-44 Twins, followed by the 56-45 Royals, followed by the 50-51 Tigers, followed by the 27-75 White Sox. In the AL West, the Astros in first place at 52-48, followed by the 53-49 Mariners, followed by the 48-52 Rangers, followed by the 43-57 Angels, followed by the 40-62 A's. That is it for the American League. For the National League, with the National League East, the Phillies in first place at 63-37, followed by the 54-45 Braves, followed by the 51-48 Mets, followed by the 47-53 Nationals, followed by the 35-65 Marlins. In the NL Central, the Brewers in first place at 57-43, followed by 52-48 Cardinals, followed by 51-49 Pirates, followed by the 49-53 Cubs, followed by the 48-53 Reds. And then in the NL West, the Dodgers in first place at 60-41, followed by the 52-50 Padres, followed by the 51-50 Diamondbacks, followed by the 48-53 Giants, followed by the 37-64 Colorado Rockies. That is it for the standings update. As for the scores currently going on in baseball, the Brewers are up 1-0 over the Cubs in bottom of the 8th, but the Cubs have a runner on with 1 out. Seiya Suzuki at the plate. A's are beating the Astros 8-1, bottom of the 7th. Angels are over the Mariners 5-1, bottom of 8, but the Mariners have 2 on with 2 outs. Dodgers beating the Giants 4-1 and through 4 innings. And as for the games that have gone final already, Guardians beat the Tigers 5-4, Cardinals beat the Pirates 2-1, Marlins beat the Orioles 6-3, Padres beat the Nationals 4-0, Mets beat the Yankees 3-2, Rays beat the Blue Jays 4-2, Phillies beat the Twins 3-0, Rangers beat the White Sox 3-2, Diamondbacks beat the Royals 6-2, Red Sox beat the Rockies 6-0, and Reds Braves was postponed. That's it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you are new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and leave a notification button to notify when I go live and or post a new video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit notification button to notify when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you in next week's episode 132. Bye-bye!